Hey guys, it's brickwitchery, and today we're going to be comparing some more LEGO Harry Potter minifigures. So first up we have Professor McGonagall, and this is the one from the Dumbledore's Office set from 2002. She has the yellow skin, as all of those minifigures do from 2001 to 2002/2003 as well. Her facial expression is an interesting one. I can definitely see how they tried to make it seem like her movie variant because of the creases around her mouth and the stern nature of her expression. But it turns out looking a bit more creepy than stern, in my opinion. There is one plus to her minifigure though, and it is I love her printing. The printing was ahead of its time, to be honest. Most of the minifigures back then in 2001, 2002 weren't this detailed, and they really went into a lot of detail in the front. I could even go ahead and say that it compares to the ones that we got recently. The only thing that's a little bit weird about it is that the color is slightly off with the rest of the ones that we got, but other than that, I really don't have any gripes with the torso and skirt printing. And hey, LEGO was doing skirt printing back in 2002. Molly Weasley and Bellatrix Lestrange, anybody? Again, we see her with a wizard's hat or witch's hat. It's kind of common for her to have that, and I'm pretty sure every single one of these minifigures we're going to look at for Professor McGonagall actually have this wizard's hat or a form of a wizard's hat. So we'll see that with our next one from 2010. And here we've got our 2010 McGonagall. This one comes in the Hogwarts Castle set from 2010, and she looks brilliant. Honestly, our second go at McGonagall, and they almost got her perfectly spot on. Now again, that printing on the front, impeccable. They honestly have always really struck it out of the park with all of McGonagall's torsos and dress prints or leg prints in certain McGonagall's case, and once again giving her a cape like our 2002 variant. The only really different thing to our 2002 variant is the colour of her general outfit. Now I'm going to have them two right by each other just so we can have a little comparison, but 2002 McGonagall, I guess she didn't know what shade of green matched her best, but it clearly wasn't that one. 2010 McGonagall has a better sense of her colour and definitely matches the movie more. So you can see it's a darker, and I'd say a more mature colour than this kind of bright green that you might see being used for grass or leaves. I don't really think it matches her, and I think even with the fact that she has the yellow skin, it kind of makes it look even worse. Am I mean in saying that? Anyway, so that is our McGonagall from 2010. Moving on to our McGonagall from 2018 and 2019. With the reboot of the series, we had our next McGonagall. Here we have McGonagall 3.0. This McGonagall is an interesting one. Something to note with our previous McGonagalls is none of them had double-sided faces, but this is our first McGonagall to have one. First side is a very stern expression, and I imagine this is like the Chad version of our 2002 stern expression. As you can see, when compared, doesn't even hold a flame to our 2018 version. This 2018 version also has another leg up on the previous McGonagalls with another face where she's smiling. So not only do we get a stern face, we also get a smiling face. It's like they just took both of the earlier McGonagalls and just merged them together. As you can see with our 2010 McGonagall, she has a smiling expression, which can be seen as very similar to our 2018 version. Both of them have very nice and happy expressions, although I have to say that our 2018 version looks a little bit older than our 2010 version. Both of them have grey eyebrows, which is good to see the consistency as she is an older woman in the films. Dame Maggie Smith is a legend, by the way, and she's got this interesting printing on her front and back, which is definitely comparable to our earlier versions, but has way more detail. I can definitely see LEGO just stepping up their printing game on the torsos and legs here, even printing onto the legs, continuing perfectly. I mean, 2002 McGonagall did it, 2010 McGonagall did it, and now 2018 McGonagall's done it. Also quite notably, this is our first McGonagall to have legs instead of a dress. In the past, we've only had McGonagalls with dresses, and this is our only McGonagall to have legs. Moving on to our final McGonagall, this is our 2020 McGonagall. Here we have our 2020 McGonagall, and she is quite different from our previous McGonagall. First off, she actually has an interesting hat hairpiece. LEGO has really been branching out with their hat hairpieces recently, and this is a result of their innovation. It has a kind of blondish, light blondish hair underneath, and then this black curved pointed wizard's hat. Both McGonagalls from 2018 and 2020 have the black hat, so I like to see consistency again, and I'm pretty sure they use almost the exact same facial expression, only real difference is the glasses on the 2021. McGonagall doesn't typically wear glasses, but I can see where they took inspiration from, as there is a scene in the Philosopher's Stone where McGonagall is wearing her glasses, so I can see why she would be wearing her glasses in the particular set that she comes in, as it is the Transfiguration classroom, and this is the scene where Harry and Ron come running in when she transforms from being a cat into a human wearing her glasses, which I like to see these little details. Once again, they've absolutely struck out of the park with her printing, very similar to our 2018 version, but with a bit of a difference. Our 2018 version sees the bottom of the legs kind of cut off, but in the 2020 version, it seems her robes finish at the bottom of her legs, or should I say skirt. Honestly, I think it's a matter of personal preference, whichever one you think looks nicer, because both of them are really great printed minifigures. The next minifigures we're going to be looking at are the Sirius Black minifigures. So in all of the Harry Potter series, the only Sirius Black minifigures we've ever gotten were Sirius Black in his Azkaban outfit. So the first time we ever saw him was in 2004 for the Prison of Azkaban wave. Sirius Black from 2004 looks very simple. He's got that old black hairpiece in short that we see with a lot of old male figures back in like 2000s and early 90s. So he shares that piece with a lot of characters, for example Mad-Eye Moody from 2005 as well. Here we can also see remnants of a beard, which they've done with that speckled dotting. Definitely a common look for minifigures, but I don't know if it really works on Sirius Black. They also seem to have given him perhaps a bit of a moustache, though it looks a little bit odd because it doesn't continue its thickness into the beard, so I don't really like it too much. However, the Azkaban uniform, I really don't have too much to complain about except for the lack of printing on their arms, but this was 2004. 2004 was a different time and they didn't really do arm printing that much, so I can't really fault them on that too much there. However, comparing him to our 2019 Sirius Black, we can see that there's a lot of differences. 2019 Sirius Black absolutely smashed 2004 Sirius Black. For starters, they got his uniform accurate for once. So they've got the overcoat that we see Sirius Black wearing and kind of remnants of the tattoos that we see him using in the movies, which is an interesting touch, as I kind of didn't expect them to go all the way with that, but you do see in the bare-chested part of his torso, he has those kind of runish tattoos. Other than that, his face print definitely represents his expressions and self more in the movies. Personally, I'd say that they did it better in the video game, but honestly, I don't think they did it bad here, so I'm not going to say anything bad against it. I do think his choice of hairpiece is interesting. I don't particularly think that his hair was that long in the movies, but maybe it's just me. But personally, I didn't really think his hair was that long, but it kind of captures the way his hair looked, I'd say. Honestly, I can't see them using any other hairpiece, so this hairpiece works for me. And now we're taking a brief break from minifigure characters to look at the Dementors. So our first look of a Dementor came in the 2004 wave, the Sirius Black's Escape set from 2004. This Dementor is very different from all the other Dementors in the fact that its skin, or for lack of a better word, doesn't even look like skin, but the under part of the character is in sand green. Interesting design choice, as there was no sight of sand green at all in the actual movies on the Dementor, so I don't know where that came from. Possibly the fact that the LEGO designers in the early 2000s seemed to love sand green for some reason. I mean, sand green's not a bad colour, but maybe a bad colour for certain choices. They used this very specially cut cape that came into the front and the back for the Dementors, which I think was a great design decision, and then to match had the matching cloak hood piece, which I think they did a great job with that as well. The face print on this Dementor is an interesting one. I think that it properly matched the expression of the Dementor when it's kind of sucking the soul out of its victims, so I don't have any whims with this. The only thing I really don't like is the colour of the skin. Underneath you'll see it's kind of like the regular old style skeleton with the wobbly arms you'll see here, or maybe not so wobbly on my one, but they're meant to be wobbly. And then this kind of T-bar piece at the bottom to keep the Dementor up, and I believe they used the same piece again in 2010. For the 2010 version we got in the Hogwarts Castle sets, we got quite an upgrade in our Dementors. They share the same hood piece, however they've updated the face print and basically everything else. For starters, they upgraded the colour of the skin. As I said, there was sand green used for skin in the 2004 version, but now we see a more accurate portrayal of the Dementors through the use of a lighter grey, rather than that kind of gross sand green version. The soul-sucking expression, again, I don't really have too much to say about it other than I think that they did a great job. There's only so many ways you can represent that, so I'm just going to say it looks pretty great. And putting them side by side, you can see that a bit has changed. The cloak is one thing to mention in particular. I really like the way that they specifically cut out all these little ridges and edges for this cloak, and I think it makes for nice detail, especially for something that we don't see too much in the films, only very briefly in some films, and this is a really nice feeling cloak. Underneath, you can see they updated the bottom just like they updated the skeletons, so now without those wobbly arms and more of these weird skeletal arm pieces, and then using that same T-bar piece at the bottom. And a look at our final Dementor, who came with our 2018 release set. Specifically, the first time we saw them were in the Hogwarts Express set, is our final Dementor. Our final Dementor shares a few qualities with our 2010 Dementor, but not much else. So first off, they have the grey hands in an actual minifigure torso. This is the first Dementor to share a minifigure torso, and rather than using a skeleton torso, and also the first Dementor to use its very own leg or stand piece. So rather than the T-bar piece that we see in the 2004 and 2010 versions, here we have this specialized stand which is very ghastly and ghostly. It kind of reminds me of Hidden Side. Someone please correct me. I believe it might have been in Hidden Side at some point, because I can see a lot of these minifigure parts crossing over with Hidden Side. It seems to be dual molded with bits of grey and transparent parts and then some black parts, so it's a nice swirl or mix of the two. I really like it. And then for the hood, shares the same hood piece, probably the only really consistent thing throughout the three different minifigures. And then the face got the mouth soul sucking expression, though I really think they upgraded it. Strangely enough, you can see inside the mouth, I don't know if those are teeth or something, but if so, gross, but kind of cool. And then for the cape, they've outdone themselves again with this torn cape design. Compared to the 2010 version, it's quite an upgrade. It looks like it's really been torn into, which I think matches the style of the movie so much better than any of our other iterations. And just to, you know, do this for dramatic effect, I'm going to put all three Dementors out here with their cloaks, and you can have a look for yourselves and see how different they are. How much better the 2018 version is. Moving back onto our minifigures, I'm going to take a look at Luna Lovegood next. So our first ever look at any Ravenclaw student in general was Luna Lovegood in 2010. With the reboot of the series in 2010, we got a few new sets, and one of those was the Hogwarts Express featuring our very own Luna. Now, unfortunately, at the time they did not give us a Ravenclaw torso, but they instead gave us this brilliantly accurate casual clothes outfit for Luna. I think LEGO really did a great job with the torso and the legs. They even went out of their way to print all the little details on her skirt-ish. I think it might be a skirt, but it looks amazing in my opinion. You can see, if I'm going to chuck a photo here, that it perfectly matches the way that it was in the movie. And then additionally, I think that her expression was perfect. I might be a bit biased here because Luna is my favorite character, but I think that they got her kind of dreamy, vacant expression perfect here. She looks very nice and kind of, what's the word, airheaded at times, but I think that's perfectly captured in her expression. We do get an alternate expression for Luna in this set, and it is our first look at Spectre Specs, which is the glasses that allow her to see Naggles and all that kind of crap. And they went to an extreme, I think, detail to make it look pretty accurate. And even though they didn't really have to, I think that it matches her movie appearance perfectly. I've said that a million times, but I really mean it. And then her open mouth expression to express her kind of wonderment and excitement at seeing these so-called Naggles is pretty impressive. I love the detailing that they even added different colors to the swirls on the inside of the eyes. And I really didn't think they could beat this, but they did with our 2018 Luna. In 2018, we got Luna from the CMF series. This Luna was basically a remake of her 2010 version, and I didn't think it could get any better, but it did. That was just LEGO outdoing themselves once again. Here is 2018 Luna. First off, you can see she's wearing the exact same outfit, but LEGO has managed to change it up again. This was the first time LEGO showed us medium legs, and I think that it was a perfect choice for Luna because she's not necessarily the tallest character, so it works well here. And the colors choices were obviously those of quite similar one to her original from 2010, and the torso and legs essentially are the same, with one exception. They use a skirt piece. This is the first time that I'd seen a skirt piece used so perfectly, other than probably Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz / Lego Movie 2 CMF, and I think that it looks amazing here because it is a skirt in the movies and it functions like a skirt in her minifigure. You can see all the printing on there and it's such an amazing detail that I can't believe that Lego did something like this, but I guess when you're paying $6 for something like this, it makes sense for Lego to go out of their way to make the minifigure as good as possible. With this Luna, we also got a double-sided face, and on the other side we got her Spectre specs. So I'm going to compare the two, first from the 2018 version and then the 2010 version. You'll be able to see how similar the two of these minifigures are. Honestly, I'm going to say that I like the 2010 version better for the back of this face, just because it looks more crisp in the printing. I think Lego has gone a little bit downhill when it comes to face printing in general, just the quality of it, but I'd say the design is actually pretty nice. Something else to note is the difference in hair. Now, 2010 Luna has the long ponytail hair, whereas 2018 Luna got a new hairpiece in blonde, and it's this kind of swept back hair. It's as if she's just tucked it behind her ears, and I think it looks brilliant. I'm pretty sure they made this hairpiece exclusively for Luna, which makes sense and it fits her perfectly. Anyway, that'll be all from me. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, comment, and like this video. Please tell me what you thought about these minifigures. Which one do you think Lego recreated the best, and which one do you think they recreated the worst? Let me know which of your figures is your favorite. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye!